Welcome! In this series of short videos, we will look at topics for the PowerBasic console and Windows compilers. Today we will look at the topic of string alignment and formatting. PowerBasic, like many other variants of BASIC, has some very powerful string handling commands. Today we're going to have a look at some commands for string handling inside PowerBasic that are not often used. The code we're demoing here is relevant for both the PowerBasic console and Windows compilers. This particular application will run under either. What we'll want to do first of all is to set up some data. So we're going to create a string array called str accounts. This will have the names of 4 account holders within it. And in addition to that, we're going to create a second array to hold the balances of their accounts. And this is the data we're going to be manipulating in strings. So we will create a simple for next loop to step through each record in each of these arrays. And we will simply send these to our log, which will display them on the screen. So there is our data. We have the 4 account holders followed by the 4 balances. While this information on screen is accurate, it's not formatted very well. It's not particularly readable. You may well in your applications have the need to send formatted data either to the screen, to a file, or to another application, or perhaps creating a PDF file. So what we're going to look at today is how we can format this data to make it look more appealing. The first thing we will do is we will create 2 local variables, one for the name and one for the balance. And we will populate both of these variables from the arrays. The str name is populated from the str accounts array, and the str balance is going to be a string, and we will format the currency value within the currency balances into a string. And then we will comment out the line of code by which we sent this information to the log, and we'll replace that with a simple str name plus a single space and then the balance. This will give us exactly what we had on the screen before, but it makes the code a little more readable. What we want to do next is to display the name of the account holder in a fixed width column. There are a number of ways of actually achieving this, but we're going to be using the lset command today. We will first set the str name variable equal to 20 spaces. This will mean the string is 20 characters long and each character will be a space character. You can then set the value of the str name variable to be equal to the value that's in the accounts array. Using the lset command will left justify the text that's in our accounts array into this 20 character field. So if we try printing that now, we'll see that all the account holder names are now in a fixed width column, with only a single line of code. While this is fine for the name column, we now want to look at the currency column. We're going to take the same approach as we did before, as we're going to populate the balance variable with 12 characters, all of them spaces. We're now going to use the rset command. The rset command, like the lset command, is going to justify the data. In this case, it's going to right justify it. We're going to take the data out of the currency balances array and put it into the balance variable. The balance variable being 12 characters in length, we're going to justify it into the right hand side of that variable. So if we try running that code now, we'll see that the data in the currency column is now right justified. However, we want to go a little further with this. We want to ensure that each value has a decimal point and 2 numbers after the decimal point. So we can expand the use of the format command to make use of its optional parameter. Using the value 0.00 ensures we will always have 2 decimal places after the decimal point, even if there's 0. If the value of the balance is actually less than 1, there will always be a 0 point and then the 2 decimal places after it. So if we try running that code now, our format is looking a little tidier. Now for readability, we'll want to put some commas in. Changing the format command to use the hash and a comma will ensure that if there is a value greater than 1000, it will always show as 1000 and a comma. So if we try running that now, we'll see that our value quite happily appears with thousands and then the value after the thousands. So our data on screen is now looking more formatted. However, there are a few more things we can actually use within these commands. Where we set the value of the name variable to be the value of the account name, there is an additional command we can use at the end of the line. If we make use of the optional using command at the end of the line, it means rather than having a space as a filler, it will have a dot as a filler. If we run that now, you'll see what I mean. So we now have the full 20 characters padded out with dots rather than spaces. So the lset and rset commands can be quite easily used either to left or right justify your data within an existing variable. If we wished to print a title at the top of the screen, we could use the cset command. The cset command is one that centers the data in a variable. Depending how you want to use these commands, you can either use them as cset$, in which case it will be variable equals cset$, and then in brackets your data, or you can use it just as lset variable name equals and then what it's to be equal to. What we're doing for our centered title is we have created a local variable called title. We have then populated that title with the words account balances. Since we know the two columns we're displaying are 20 characters and 12 characters respectively, with one character between, that adds up to a total of 33 character spaces. So we're taking the account balances text, we're centering it into a string of 33 characters. If we run that now, you'll see that the title account balances appears centered between the two columns. These commands do make it very easy to actually move information around to either left, right, or center justify them. Hopefully you'll find these commands useful in your code. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching.